You're watching Barnstable this morning. Joining me this morning is Kate Conway. She is the author of the Undertow series. So excited to have you back on the show.
Thanks for having me.
We have so much to talk about. You're having a really great event coming up July 16th. Well, two events actually, July 16th, one of which is in Bourne and another here at the Marstons Mills Public Library where we are this morning.
Yep, we have a record book here at the library. That's on July 16th from 6 to 8. And then earlier in the day from 1 to 3, we have a straight signing with 10 YA authors at the Bourne Library, which is also part of their fundraising prospects.
Wonderful. So exciting. Let's talk a little bit about what we're going to have happen here at the Marstons Mills Public Library. I know you have a whole group of young adult authors that are going to be here at the library. Titcombs is actually partnering with you guys,
Correct.
So they're going to have their books here. And you're doing something really different. A rec-a-book. I've never heard of this, and participants are actually going to destroy a book and turn it into art.
Correct. So we were asked by the Marstons Mills Library to do an event that was very different. And so it came across the idea of actually destroying the books we have written, which is probably like on some psychological level, we want to rip them apart at some point. But the idea is that the library is buying a book of each author, and we have 10. So we have Tricia Lever, myself, Skylar Dorsett, Jen Malone, Jen Brooks, Lori Goldstein, Skylar Dorsett, Hillary Monahan, Reed Scott Winham. I think I got everybody. And they are buying a book of each of us, and then the kids that come will get to actually disassemble the books, turn them into art, use the spines, use the interior pages. We've done something similar once before for a launch of mine, and people loved the stuff, so that's what they're going to get to do. And while they're wrecking the books, each author will read from their current books for about 6 to 10 minutes, and there'll be books available from Titcombs to buy and sign.
Oh, so awesome. I think that's such a cool thing. Why did you specifically want to put this together really targeted towards teens?
On the Cape, the most writers we have here tend to be picture book authors, or they tend to be writing memoirs and adult fiction. There are very few teen writers. Myself and Tricia Lever, Reed Scott Winham, he's here on the Cape. Hillary Monahan is from the Marion area. But basically, they're an ignored part of our reading society, and most of the times it's movies and apps, and they actually are very avid readers, so being able to put them in contact with the crazy people that actually write the stories they like is so much fun for them. So we've been trying very hard to constantly bring in big panels of authors, change it up all the time, so they could see a variety of people. And the 10 people we have coming in represent a very wide variety of genres, everything from horror to fantasy to contemporary, wild stuff that should fit their needs.
So a little bit of something for everyone, no matter what kind of book you like to read, a little bit of something for everyone. And, you know, I have to think, too, it's so important to keep reading and keep that mind engaged throughout the summer before you head back to school.
Oh, absolutely. And when I work with teen writers, they are some of the most fabulous storytellers ever. They're not jaded by society yet or what their lives have dragged them through, and they just pull from their imagination instantly. So to understand that they can become a writer at any point in their lives is a great aspect too, because most of the people that are YA writers never intended to become novelists. It was something that just sort of fell on them, and they had the right story, and they're like, what the heck, I'll give it a shot. So.
Well, let's talk about your series, too. I want an update on the Undertow series. I think you're working on book 4 now.
I am working on book 4 now. I'm working on True North, which is hopefully the last book in the series. It should be big enough to knock someone out when it's done, weigh a few pounds. But we're hoping to have it launch here at the Marstons Mills Library in December. The first book, Undertow, just became one of Barnes & Noble's 7 terrifying reads for teens for the summer, which was a huge deal because I'm the only self-pub on the list. But I thought it was unusual to land on it, and a friend of mine was screaming at me to look at the list because I didn't know, and so I was thrilled. So, yeah.
Wonderful. Well, congratulations. Do you know how they select their list?
I have no clue. That was a shock and a half to me. So someone at Barnes & Noble must have read the book and loved it and added it to their teen list, and we ranked as number 2 out of 7, which was great.
Wow. That's pretty amazing. And if people aren't familiar with your series, there is Undertow. What other books do you have in the series?
There is Undertow, Stormfront, Cruel Summer just came out in March, which is a novella. I wrote that because teens demanded to know more about 2 of the characters. And True North will be out in December, and I write under K.R. Conway.
Wonderful. And your books are available locally here, Titcombs Bookshop, Books by the Sea?
Books by the Sea, Tickhome's Bookshop. Over on the island, they're available at Bunch of Grapes. We're hopefully going to have them up at the Whittam Museum in Provincetown and possibly down on Main Street as well.
Wonderful. And of course, online you can buy them or at Barnes & Noble.
Correct.
Wonderful. So this is really exciting. Back to the event here a little bit before we go, July 16th. Do people need to sign up for the event in advance?
It would be great if people can call the Marstons Mills Library and tell them how many people are coming. It is free to get in. Of course, you have to pay for the books, not the wrecked ones. But it helps us get an idea of how many people to expect. We hope to be able to fit 40 into the library, so call soon, get your name on the list, and then you have a spot.
Great. Thank you so much, Kate, for chatting with us this morning. Can't wait for the Wreck-A-Book event at the Marstons Mills Library.
Thanks so much for having me.
Kate Conway is the author of the Undertow series for Barnstable This Morning. I'm Sarah Mannel.